Okay, hello everyone, Ron again. In this video, we're going to talk about Patcher. So, what is Patcher? Patcher is an effect and an instrument that's in FL Studio, and you use it to make patches. So, what a patch is a multi-chain effect or a combination of instruments, or both, which I'm going to explain and actually demonstrate. I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. FL Studio, they recently made some videos on it talking about the 1K knobs and like presets and stuff. But I felt like I'd explore it for myself and share that exploration because I already made a thumbnail. So it's a good chance to talk about how to use it and like some of the ways I use it and how it is useful. So the first thing is where to find it. So obviously, you're going to load it from here. Let's say you would go into the different effects, right? Patcher is its own actual category. So this is Patcher itself. So that's one way to load it. Pressing the plus. This is already assigned to an instrument track because it defaults in the template. So I'm just going to replace it here. So it's Patcher. Opening as Patcher. Now when you open Patcher, you're going to notice that there is nothing here. And if I press a key, no sound occurs. See? Now, you can add any plugin you want, right? So we're going to add some synthesizer, one that's native to FL Studio. So it would be easier from over here, like Synth Classic. Let's say Mini Synth. And it automatically routes it now, which is good. So there's sound. If I was to take this away, you can see here, I'm pressing keys, but there's no sound. This is because you have to connect from FL Studio to whichever thing is in the patch and then connect it back to FL Studio. Probably can't see it because the map is there. See, so from FL Studio, this gives it the MIDI data or whatever key you're pressing, same thing. This connects it back as a generator so that sound is produced. This is a small map because you can resize it. So if you wanted to full screen it and you have a bunch of stuff here, see how the map changes shape. The map is new. It's from FL Studio 20.9. So that's awesome. So now we can use this to make sound. And this would be to navigate it if it was like bigger, if there was more stuff on the screen and it was covering more than the entire screen. So now, what else? A key takeaway of understanding Patcher is that you're not limited in the number of things that you can actually put here. You can put an infinite number of instruments, which are also called generators, or effects, as long as your computer is able to sustain it. We're doing pretty good on CPU right here. So that's one thing to think about. And if you go to control surface, it allows you to make like buttons, bevels, knobs, keyboards, so that you can actually design an interface of your own. It's pretty cool. You can go to it and you can change like the colors and stuff. You can change the shape. So I can make something like this. I can change the style of it, like the way it looks. You can change like the fill color even. So if I wanted to do something like that, then let go of it. As I turn the knob, well, it gets tricky because it can be real confusing what that actually means. So let's change the color of the cap. gear, let's say something like that. It might be the rail. That might be what I was trying to do. Yeah, that's the one. So now, color of the rail is different. That's the one that I wanted. You can also change, like, if you twist it, how it will fill with color. But that's the thing that is escaping me right now. You can explore that on your own. The point is Patcher, right? This allows you to map things to it. So that's why it says activate here. So no, not that. So if you go here, see the knob that I just made is activated. So I could connect it to something and it would control a parameter. And that's how you basically design your own plugins in Patcher. It's real cool. And I've done it like a few times. Usually not making an interface because it takes a little while. If I'm going to give it to somebody, then I'll make an interface. But for my own purpose, I normally don't. You know, so with that being said, let's look at this. So I made an example of mini synth, right? We're going to design something that's like a texture. What's also cool is that you have the presets that you create and the presets that it come with for whatever plugin that are included inside for use in Patcher as well. So that's nice. But let's go to default. I'm going to make a sound real quick because like I have a bunch of stuff, but I want you to be able to follow along. Someday, maybe I'll have an email list to actually send these things out. But if I was to just load a sound, that wouldn't exactly help in teaching sound design, right? So that's the idea. So we're going to look at that. Here's the first thing. Let's make this sound. Right now it's a basic saw wave, kind of boring. That's more interesting. With this, the filter environment is always turned up. That's annoying. They should change that in the defaults. So if I wanted to make a pluck sound, I would do this. There's no sustain, but I don't want to make a pluck sound. I want to make something that crescendos. So it'll be something like that. I can bring the filter down. Keyboard tracking. This means that as I press the notes that are higher, the filter will open less so that they sound the same. Velocity is the same thing, but it means for a louder note, the filter will open more. I explained this in some video already. Probably ADSR. Yeah, definitely ADSR. So let's see, what else would I like to do? Yeah, poly means that I can play more than one note. Versus like mono or lead. See, it switches. I'll leave it like that. Increase that more. I like that. Now there's a purpose to this. So I'm not going to put delay, chorus, phaser. Distortion is okay though. But not too much. That's good. So the goal here is to add a layered instrument. Right, so now let's add another copy of mini synth. That's not it. Okay. It's kind of hard to see. So now I'm going to make something that's very similar to the thing I just made. Add that release. Now, because I want to layer this, close this out. If you right click, you can turn this off. That's what it means. Increasing this till it's more of a full circle means increasing the volume. Decreasing it is the opposite. So it's a way to mix. Notice if I turn both of them off, they become grayed out and there's no sound. See? Now, I'm designing a second sound. So let's say super saw because that could be interesting. Make this one an octave higher. It's gonna be fascinating to see what this sounds like. Now, you always have to remember with that, it's annoying. It causes pops. Okay. Again, distortion. Not much, because you don't want it to sound crazy. Let's go back to this one, turn it on. So that's that sound. Too high. The point is to have a rich sound. All right, so we got two of those. Let's think. What else could there be? Citrus. Citrus is good for everything. I have all the plugins, presets ever. I made so many presets. But default. There it is. Use the same idea. Now, that sounds kind of ugly. So this one, I need to do something more to. Think. Delete these. So it's just an attack and a decay. Go to the filter. Low pass. Turn this one off. Put it through the filter. Turn this to like 1. There we go. Effects. For this one, I'm gonna add reverb. Decrease the decay time. Turn up the volume. Make it warm so it's darker. Let's see how it sounds. So you can hear the problem with this thing from Citrus is that it's a decay. What we need is sustain. And that's not the way to get it. This is. Now it has the same type of character the other sounds do. So let's modulate 1 by 2. So this is 2 modulating 1. Go to the main one, turn the volume down. And yeah, the point of modulation, more harmonics. Okay, could also change the wave shape. There we go. It's weird, but it's cool. Now, it routed all of them to FL Studio. But here, rather than to do that, we're going to add an effect, which is going to be reverb first. So, start by making it all the way wet. Take the dry away. Add some delay. Give it some decay time, like 3 seconds. Low cut. Size. Increase it so it sounds further. Mind you, I'm using headphones. When judging distance while writing music, it is better to use monitors. So then, add the reverb to FL Studio. So now you can hear that. Now I'm going to separate them like so. So it's easier to keep track of what's happening. Add all 3 of them to reverb. And you can decrease the mix. The sound is so, like, loud. There we go. I want this sound to be very ambient. Make it a bit wider. Lower the citrus sound. Let's add another plugin, EQ. Now this is for the reverb. And this is also a flaw here, because it will take away the wrong one. It would be nice if they would fix that. But now we can have a regular EQ, and you can see how the sound has a spectral range, if you will. Right? This is just for the reverb though. And what's cool about it, you can turn the other 3 off. So when I was doing clarity, I talked about creating a bus and separating the reverb, because then you could listen for resonances. You just want to hear the reverb by itself. So like right here, I might turn it down. And this is like a quick job. You would spend more time trying to mix it. But that sound is just reverb. So when you add the dry parts back, you're trying to avoid having resonance. But the problem with this is they sound a little bit closer. Notice this was turned down a certain amount. So this might be affecting how loud it is. So what I will do, disconnect all of them and add another filter, parametric EQ, and do sort of the same thing. With the dry. It would be nice if there was sound, right? But then that means I can take these off. Add one of these to FL Studio, one of them to Reverb. So we're hearing the dry sound, right? What I did was I decreased the highs to try to keep them from being harsh. This looks like it's resonant. When it's higher, that's alright. Let's add back the reverb. Add less of the dry. It's not that one. It's this one. It's that one. Sticking out too much. There we go. It's imperfect, but it's nice. And the final thing I might add is delay. Make it entirely wet. Give this one a brighter tone. Let's see how it goes. So this is from the EQ, because the EQ is acting like a bus, to the delay. Let's add the delay to the reverb, because then the delay will be in the same space as all of them. And we would move these over, keep track of it. So this is sort of like the bus. This is a delay channel. This is a reverb channel. And we're mixing them back together while EQing them both. So you hear that sort of rippling sound because of the delay. I don't think I want to have that much of it though. Maybe I want to have more. Nah. There we go. That's cool and ambient. Alright. So that covers the way that you can use it as an instrument. The point is that you add other instruments to it, and you can add effects to change them before they ever go to the router, the mixer. Okay. So now it's a good time to show something new that's in FL Studio. We can highlight these. Right, so let's say that I wanted to add more using Patcher. I could go here because you can select multiples of these. Go to track mode, instruments, patcher. It'll add a bunch of them. So that's something cool to know if you want to divide them up. So let's add a plugin. Add another copy of Citrus. As soon as I stop brain farting and remember where to find it, there it is. This time, preset. This is the sound I made. And the volume is good because I already routed these to this, which is acting like a mix bus. So they won't be too loud. The point of this is to show how Patcher is useful in mixing. So rename this Bongo Plug. My mouse is sliding. This is a new sound. And I name all of these things randomly with whatever comes to mind in the moment. So this one's going to be named distant. So copy, go here. No, go here. Save as preset, distant. So later, if I'm ever looking at this again, distant is here. And I remember what I did. So if I'm like, I like that, I want to use it again, I'll know what it is. Needs some work. So let's make something simple. Too long. So if you pull this arrow, it leaves it the same proportion and changes how long it is. So it was twice as long. So that's interesting. Let's make something here. So that's patcher number 5. It's good to be organized. Is it the right one? No. Should be up here. Now it's the right one. Simpler to delete these. Just make my own. Copy, paste. No. Let's go to record. And then just totally ignore the metronome. Turn it off. Let's try beats. Let's do this. Okay, let's move this over to make it sound like a human played it. Randomize the velocity. Let's play. Now, this is too loud. And I could turn all of these down by holding Alt and scrolling. Keep in mind, they're all going here, so they're not going to get louder than that. Now I'll go here, hold shift, copy it. So hold shift and click it, that makes a copy. So that's an idea. Something. Makes sense to gain stage. So I should turn it down here. Right, so let's put this back. And this is cool. So, fruity fast low pass. I want it to sound like it's further away. This is another good chance to use Patcher. So, I turned myself off. Haha. This is it's gonna just loop. Check it out. Now the sound disappears. Now I can add effects. And the effect I'm gonna add is a preset, which is called 1K Reverb. I still feel like it's doing too much, so I'm gonna low pass it. Now let's look at this sound. Click here, like headphones. Let's make this bigger. And look for resonances. So if you press shift and hold down the band, it solos it. That's closer to what I want. So you can see in Patcher, well, I'll open a new one. There are many, mini presets. So they'll be useful. Another one I'll use here, just to show it. Mid-side EQ. So it opens up looking like this. It has two EQs. One of them has mid, one of them has side. This is useful if sounds disappear in mono. So turn that one off, play just this one. It doesn't disappear too much in mono, but still, you might want to adjust one of them just because it'll become more pronounced. And the cool thing about this is because it's divided this way, you can mix mid and side. So let's say I just want to hear the middle of the sound. Turn the side down. So now it'll sound a bit closer and stand out amongst other things, but it still has the ambiance. If I turn it up, then it's more like a pad, but it will probably disappear more in mono. See? So that's cool to be aware of. Same with this. You can mix in mono like some people do. And these are things that I use to create ambient sounds. So, actually, let's go back here. Oh, so Patcher only allows you to open one window at a time. To open more than one, hold Alt and click. It's good that this happened. I didn't remember to talk about that. Ha. So let's see. Now, if I turn off the side, you can think of this as soloing the mid channel. Let's listen for if it has EQ problems. So the idea is to increase clarity. Now the side channel. With the side channel, it's a good idea to cut the lows. I usually do that. Now let's add it back together. click this. This bypasses the effect. So this is before. This is after. Okay, that's that. Now let's pretend that this is a master bus, even though this is. If I put it here, my voice would be affected. So that's the purpose of this. And the sound has disappeared because Patcher's not connected, even though the sounds are still playing. I would use the same techniques in mastering. So what I usually do is I will go to, where is it? Mid-side EQ. Do the same things because I did them individually, but you might want to do them together. This is like a mini mixing and mastering session. All from Patcher, mind you. We haven't used really anything else, just Patcher. So let's do it again. To the side channel. Now let's see what it bypassed, what it would sound like versus with it turned on. So before, after, so the idea, as with any EQ, is to create clarity. I'm gonna lower this some too. There we go. If I was really writing a song and this was an actual mix, then I would use something like bass. Mucus. Alright, so I'm gonna do one more thing, just for the heck of it. Use Maximus for multiband compression. I'm not gonna explain it in this video, but maybe someday. So let's see if I can improve this even a little bit more. And then that'll end it. Okay. In this case, this turns it off. This puts it back. So, no, I'm not going to do that. This is easier. Okay, this is the right one. So before, let's see if it sounds better actually. This is before. And after. You can also adjust the mix level of the entire effect. So let's do that. Okay. That's how it sounds best to me right now. So that wraps up the patcher tutorial. Is there anything I missed? Nope. That's all of it. So if you made it this far and you stuck around to the end of the video, then I thank you for watching. And I hope that this was good for you and that it was helpful and that you'll use Patcher. And with that being said, as usual, have an awesome day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.